In example 3, we are given that there are approximately 300 jelly beans per bag, and we're given that the number of jelly beans, J of B, is a function of how many bags, so B equals number of bags of jelly beans that are purchased. We're asked to identify the independent and dependent variables, determine what values the domain and range make sense for the situation, then to write a function to represent the total number of jelly beans for any number of bags. So first off, let's look at what are the independent and dependent variables. So which one depends on the other? The number of jelly beans total depends upon the number of bags purchased. So B is the independent variable, and J of B, number of beans, would be the dependent variable. It depends on how many bags there are. Now, what makes sense for the domain and range? For the domain, we can't have negative bags. So the domain, we know that it's going to be positive, and we can't have parts of bags. We can only have whole bags that we purchase. So we know it's going to be positive, and it's going to be an integer. Well, what does that mean? It means it's a natural number, or in this case, we'll go with whole numbers and make sure we include 0, because we can purchase 0 bags. And for the range, again, we know it's going to be positive, or it's going to be include 0, because if you purchase 0 bags, you're going to have 0 beans. But so I guess positive isn't necessarily correct for the domain either. We'll call it non-negative. So that way it includes 0. And with the range, we know it's going to be non-negative. And we know it's going to be a multiple of 300 because there are 300 beans per bag. And we'll go ahead just to clarify, and 0. Now we're asked to write a function to represent the total number of jelly beans for any number of bags. So we'll go ahead and write this off to the side. We know we're representing it with J of B, where J is the total number of jelly beans and B is the number of bags. And we know there's 300 per bag, so it's going to be 300 times the number of bags. Then last but not least, we're asked to find how many jelly beans are there in 9 bags of jelly beans. So we're looking for J of 9. We simply substitute 9 for B, the number of bags, so 300 times 9, which is going to be 2,700 jelly beans. So just to recap, I wrote down the information we were given. The independent variable is going to be the input, the number of bags that are purchased. And the dependent variable is going to be J, or the total number of beans, because it depends on how many bags are purchased. We know the domain is going to be whole numbers, including 0, because we can only purchase whole numbers of bags, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And we know that the range is going to be 0 and a multiple, or a multiple of 300, because there are 300 beans per bag. And then just to recap, the function itself, the equation we wrote for the function, there are 300 jelly beans per bag, so 300b, J of b equals 300b. And then to determine how many jelly beans there are in 9 bags, we simply substitute 9 into that equation, and 300 times 9 is 2,700 jelly beans.